Your 5 minute friend here, Charles GP. We welcome you to the 43rd edition of the program 5 Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth, helping youth in their walk with God. Today we are going to be looking at rebuking ourselves to live for God. Many of us sit down and evaluate how well we are doing in our education, in our businesses, in our workplaces, and sometimes we even seek to do likewise for others. But only a few of us will ever seek to examine the Christian lives of the people we claim to love. But here is the sad truth. Almost none of us ever bother ourselves to sit down and evaluate or examine our own Christian lives. But do we really want to do well in our Christian life? Do we even want to do well in life? What is even good life? You know, good life is a life lived unto the glory of God. So that means that we have to be serious about living good life. Then we have to get serious about our Christian life. We have to evaluate. We have to examine our Christian life. This is a quote I like from C.L. Lewis. He says, "Put first thing first and get second things thrown in. Put second things first and we lose both first and second things." He goes on to say, we never get, even the sensual pleasure of food at its best when we are being greedy. That is true. So we have to put first thing first. And as Christians, we are to put the kingdom of God first. We have to seek God's kingdom and its righteousness as the first things in our lives. Let's go back to the 42nd edition. I reminded us that we should not have our Christian life here and other aspects of our life there. Instead, we should only have our Christian life and let every other aspect of our life flow out of our Christian life. That is to say, anything and everything that we do, we should do it as Christians. So if I'm in my workplace, if I'm going to school, whatever I'm doing, I should do it as a Christian. That is very important. Let's take a look at the cycle. A cycle is held together by its focus. The focus is the center of the cycle from which all other points of the cycle flow. So that is the theme with our Christian life. Without the focus of the cycle, there is no cycle. So we have to examine our Christian lives. But how can we examine our Christian life? Well, examining our Christian life will require that we take note of anything and everything that hinders and the sins that can easily entangle us. Yes. So when we sit down, like the year is going to an end, to evaluate our lives over the year 2021, we should consider the sins that we repeatedly committed and get to know why, how, who were we with, where are the places we were. We should answer those questions with complete sincerity and take a decision. We have to rebuke ourselves. We have to point out the wrongs in ourselves. That's the only way we can live a life for God. Yes, we have to be intentional about our Christian life. So we have to constantly evaluate ourselves. We have to evaluate ourselves. So please, from today, let us start and always evaluate, examine our Christian life. Thank you very much for being with me on the 43rd edition of the program 5-Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth, helping youth in their walk with God. I've been your 5-minute friend, Charles G. Peary.